Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Blessing Ogaba of Belwin Creations. Today I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful halter neck style. And please, a quick reminder, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do and give us a thumbs up, like and share our videos. And this is a very beautiful style. You can see how sleek it is. This is the back view. You can see everything well incorporated. Now let's get to the main training. I've marked out my shoulder line, armhole, bust line, under bust, waistline, and full length line accordingly. You might want to do that as well on your paper. And let's start. First of all, I'll be carving out my armhole. Alright, so I've marked out my across chest, my shoulder line there, and I'm carving out my armhole. Just carve out your armhole the way you normally do. Alright, and that will be it. The next thing I'm going to do is to mark out my bust span to form my bustier, because this is a halter neck with a bustier. Okay, it's not the normal plain halter neck. I'm going to be giving it a bustier. So, and it's a princess that bustier. So from my shoulder line there, I'm also dropping my bust span on my armhole line there, and using my ruler I'm going to connect all my bust span from the bust line to the full length line, and I'm going to give two parallel lines there to give me my bustier allowance. Okay, I already have a detailed video on a princess that bustier. Is exactly the same thing I'm doing here, a full shoulder princess that bustier, not an off shoulder, a full shoulder princess that bustier. That's what I'm doing here before I'll carve out my halter neck from it. So you might want to check my channel for that video, or I'll include the link to that video here. And this part I'm carving now, the second parallel line, is not quite necessary for my bustier, but I'm just going to do it anyway. In the course of this video I'll be cleaning it later, so you might not want to do that. Okay, so right now I'm carving out my bustier. So on my under bust line there, I'll mark out half of an inch inwards, as you can see me doing there on the two parallel lines. That will help me carve out my bustier for the center front and the side front respectively. Okay, so I'll just like sketch the curve there on the bust side using my curve. You can use freehand. In the earlier video, like I said earlier, I actually used freehand to carve out my bustier. So even if you don't have this curve, you also will still come out very well. Just apply your hands thoroughly. Okay, so I'll do it for the center front and as well as the side front. Now remember, my parallel lines for my bustier allowance is 1 inch apart. Okay, so for somebody that is very busty, quite busty, you might want to make that 1.5 inches. Okay, and I know that some of you may have different methods of bringing about your princess that bustier, so you may just want to do that in case you don't want to follow my method here. But all the same, at the end of the day, we all still achieve the same result. So you might want to learn that. As you can see, the first line I drew earlier inward is no longer useful, like I said earlier, so I'm just going to clean that, erase that out using my eraser so that it doesn't confuse us in the course of this video. Okay, so here, as you can see, I have my princess that bustier coming up, and right now I'm going to close my armhole dart. If you've been familiar with my channel, I usually do this armhole dart so that you don't have a puff there on your armhole beside your bust sides there. Okay, so, and I usually close this on the block rather than sewing it on the actual fabric, so I'll be closing this using my tape to seal it down. Okay, so I will just quickly mark out my neck depth. For here, I'm using 3 inches wide by 3 inches deep. Okay, because this is quite a very high halter neck. It's not your normal low halter neck. I want it very high. Okay, so that's why I'm taking 3 inches wide by 3 inches deep. Okay, 3 inches wide on the shoulder line and 3 inches down to form my neckline. So quickly I'm going to seal up my armhole dart. As you can see, just fold your paper down there. You might actually want to give your under bust dart instead of your armhole dart, but because of my shape I figured that armhole dart works perfectly for me rather than my underbust dart. So yeah, basically in all my videos you're going to be seeing the armhole dart instead of the underbust dart. So just do what works for you. Okay, you might also want to try this out, it might come out perfect as well. All right, so having sealed that, I'm just going to make sure that I don't have anything on the way there. Remember, the armhole that is just for the side front only. Okay, just for the side front only. All right, so right now I'm going to go ahead and do my shaping, to mark out my shaping. If you watch the video of my princess, that previous video I made, you will see certainly a detailed video how to do your shaping. It's just to mark the difference from your center front and your side front. Make sure that it's your exact amount or figure of your bust, under bust, waist and hip respectively. Then add your seam allowance, 2 inches or 2.5 inches as you may please, and then draw out your connect your shape using your ruler. Okay, so before I continue further, I would like to cut out my center front to give me ease because of the folding there at the armhole that side. So I'm just going to cut that out to give me ease there. And I see that my bust side there is too perky. I don't have that kind of perky bust, so I'm just going to blend that out using my curve. All right, so you might want to do that as well. So sorry for the bulge there. I'm just going to cut it out so that I will have my pattern more relaxed for me to carve out my halter neck there. Okay, so I think I'm done with that. All right, so make sure that everything is smooth and steady. All right, so from the shoulder line on the neck curve there, I'm going to drop 1 inch from the shoulder line. As you can see, the 1 inch there, and then I'm going to place my curve in such a way that the line will connect directly to my armhole, the previous armhole I've already drawn, my armhole line there. So drop 1 inch from your shoulder line on that neckline you drew, then you connect the line straight to your armhole. Now, in case you don't want your armpits too exposed, you might want to take your armhole up a little bit, but do not take it too up in such a way that it will choke. And as you can see, you have to ensure that the neckline there along the line I just drew connecting from the neck to the armhole meets there. So although it's meeting now, but sometimes when you are joining your side front to your center front, you may notice a difference. The side front is always shorter, so I want to take that up a little by 1 inch. Okay, so that's not to have any shortage when I am joining my actual fabric, and then I go ahead to cut it out. Okay, on the lines, on my border lines, I came down a little bit there, which will not favor me later, as you see in the course of this video. Okay, so I'm just going to cut out the side front, and here we have our center front and our side front respectively. So we are going into the back now. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do now is to we already have our shoulder line, bust line, under bust line, waistline, full length line, and then at the edge there I'm going to mark out our zipper line using my ruler. Is 1 inch zipper allowance. Okay, now I'm going to be marking out the armhole line. All right, so 1 inch up of from the bust line will give me my armhole line. For somebody that have a larger bust, you can make that 1.5 or even 2 inches. That's for somebody that maybe your bust to shoulder to bust line is 12 inches, so you can make that 2 or 1.5. And now I'm going to mark out my bust span like I did in the front, from the 2 inches before the bust line down to the full length line. And there at the waist side there, I'm going to mark 1/2 inch away from each other on the line, and then I'm going to draw like a triangle. I'm trying to cover my darts now. Your normal darts that you do on your tops or your dresses, that's what I'm doing now. Okay, so along the waistline, just mark half of an inch opposite each other, and then carve out a V um, facing each other like I'm doing now in the video. Just do your darts exactly as you see me doing in the video here. All right, so like I said earlier, I like closing all my darts on my block so that I don't have to stitch anything on my actual fabric. Yeah, I don't see that as laziness or anything. I don't know, I just enjoy it. Ever since I figured this out, I just enjoy it. I enjoy doing it, all right, on my block, so I don't have to stress myself out doing it on my actual fabric, and it actually comes out looking neat and beautiful like you saw earlier in the video. Although it's been worn by my mannequin, it fits more better when I'm wearing it. Okay, so you do the same thing for the up and the down part. You may want to extend the darts for the upper part all the way to the shoulder line, okay, so that you don't have any bulge there. All right, so you just tape it down, seal it down using your tape, and tada, you'll be done. That's all for the dart. So the next thing I want to do is to ensure that that midpoint there is also well relaxed. And remember, if you're conversant with fixing your zipper, you always want to give like a C shape there at your zipper side so that your zip will not be bulging out when you wear your dress. So this is a perfect fix to that. Okay, you can see how that side now is now curved, well curved, as you can see, because of what I just did now. All right, so I'm just going to shaping out that down part there. It's not supposed to be that pointy. Okay, I don't have that kind of a pointy body there, so I'm just going to blend that pointy part out a little down there. Okay, so you might want to do the same for yours to avoid it shooting out too much. As you can see, it's sloping and it's have a curve there very well. So the next thing I will want to do now is to fix my armhole and my shoulder and my neckline. So right now I'm carrying out my armhole. Just go ahead and do your armhole the normal way you know how to do it best. Okay, all right, so that is it. And remember, for the front part, the neckline was 3 inches wide and 3 inches down, but for here it's going to be 3 inches wide and 1 inch down, because this is the back side. It's not supposed to come down too much like the front side is. And on the neck side there, the 3 inches side, I came down by 1 inch to connect our to form our halter neck armhole. Okay, so I'm just going to seal that up a little. I noticed that there's a bulge there, so from the dart line I'm just going to seal that up so that we won't have that bulge anymore there. So I came down by 1 inch from the neckline I just drew there. The same thing I did for the front armhole there. So I'm just going to connect from that 1 inch to my original armhole to form my halter neck. Now quickly, let me remind you, in case you want to have a different back side, as in like a different backside shape of your neckline, you can, like the one in the picture there, you can just do that now and shape it the way you want to make making it an off shoulder. And thereafter you just go ahead and do your shaping, mark out your shaping, add your allowance, and then connect all the points together, and you're done for the back piece. And then you go ahead and then cut it out. Okay, you want to blend in any points there, and we are pretty much done with our back piece here. So this is our back piece cut out. Like I said earlier, if you want to give your back piece maybe an off shoulder, or maybe a rope on the neckline, anyhow you choose to style it, this is the best time for you to do that. And here, let's go further. This is our back piece and our front piece together. So I'll be taking the side front piece, okay, and then I'll be putting it together with the back piece, the side front, the shaping side to face the shaping side. It will be like you putting the good face on the good face of if you're to be using your actual fabric. Okay, this is because I want to give the down a curve. It's not nice for the down part of your the sides of your back and your front piece to be just straight like this. You want to give it more fitting by giving it a curve. If you notice the um finished product on the beginning of this video, the side was a little bit curved. Okay, so quickly from the full length line there upwards, I'm going to mark out 2 inches, and then using your curve you just curve it out to any part there outward like I just did in the video, and that will be it. So I've already gone ahead to cut it out on my actual fabric. Now I'll be using a lace fabric. That means I have to use an interfacing and then a lining. You may just be using a normal fabric that doesn't need an interfacing, like your Ankara, your crepe, or any other fabric that doesn't have, that is not see-through. Okay, so you wouldn't have to go through the process of matching out your interfacing on your lace like I did here. But anyway, for those of you who have not been through this before, so this is just a quick way to get to it. Okay, get about it. So for my interfacing, since it's a bustier, I've already gone out to iron my interface, like my stay, your gum stay, your paper stay on the interfacing, and then underneath it on the wrong face, then place my lace on it. This is my lining for the front piece, as you can see, and I've already cut out my interfacing like I said earlier. Okay, so I'm going to be separating my lining, keeping my lining aside, because I'm going to be using that to turn the actual fabric when I'm done. So but I'll be making my interfacing and my lace to be one, so I'm just going to go ahead and stitch on the border lines all around, and I've also gone ahead to fix so along my bustier. This is the front piece, well sewn. As you can see now, my armhole is not meeting like I said earlier in the video. Okay, yes, so I should have stick to my 1 inch line that I drew earlier. Okay, so this is just a quick reminder. So when you're drafting, just remember to use 1 inch to increase your armhole for the side front by 1 inch, or maybe even 1.5, so that you don't have this kind of shortage I'm having here now. But there's no problem, you see, came out nice. So I'm just trimming it off now to meet with the the center front, to meet with the side front there. So in case you have such challenges, you don't need to fret, you just have to trim it out, and it won't do you any bad to your clothes. So I've also gone ahead to stitch together my lining as well for the front piece, and for the back piece we don't need any stitching on the darts. So it's just to, I just matched my lining on my interfacing, and then my lace on my interfacing rather, and then my lining separately. So I'm going to keep all the linings aside for the front piece and the back piece. Then I'm going to go ahead and then shaping out. Okay, stitch out my shape. I'm pinning it first, the back piece to the front piece. You already know the drill. So just going to shape it out using my 2 inches seam allowance that I gave earlier. Okay, I'm just doing this for the benefit of those who may not really know how to do this. Okay, so I'm just making sure that all my lines are okay and my shape is accurate, and then go over to my sewing machine. As you can see, I've already stitched it out. All right, so please pardon me for this. I'm just like, for the benefit of those who may not really know how to go about this. So I'm going to ensure that my fabric is giving me my right shape, including my zipper allowance. Okay, this is perfect. My waist is 28, and I'm having 31 there, so that means I have 1 inch zipper allowance, and my underbust and my bust is well aligned, so I have enough space for my zipper allowance like I gave earlier, 1 inches. So I'm good to go. I've done the same thing for my lining as well. So I'm going to be placing my lining on my actual fabric, good face meeting good face. Okay, this is the best way I like to do my shaping, so that my seam allowance will not be showing outside. Some of us, I will not say, I will not exclude myself, I usually allow my seam allowance to be showing outside for ease of shaping. And right here trimming the down part of my lining, because my lining is supposed to be shorter than my actual fabric, so that I don't have my lining shooting outside when I'm done turning. So I've just made sure that my lining is shorter, and now I'm going to be pinning it, ensuring that all the points meet. Your mid center front is meeting, your side seams, your darts, everything for both lining and actual fabric is meeting. And also for my armhole, okay, I'm only going to be stitching my armhole side, leaving the neckline for the front and the back piece to be open. Now you're going to be having two neckline for the back piece because of the zipper cuts, and then one neckline for the front. So as you can see, I'm folding it for you to understand that it is only the armhole side that I will be closing, okay, that I'll be stitching, and down part as well. Okay, so I'll be leaving the zipper side open so that I can use that to turn. You can actually also stitch the zipper side and then turn it through the neck hole, okay, but I wouldn't want to do that, so I'll just go ahead and stitch it. So as you can see, I've stitched the armhole and the full length line. I'm leaving my zipper side open. I'm just going to be flipping that to the right face, okay. I'm just going to be flipping that to the right face, and then give it a good press, okay. But before that, I didn't nudge, okay. So because I need to nudge, because it's a curve, so I need to nudge it very well, give it a small cut so that it will be well relaxed when I am ironing that, okay. So you might want to just do that quickly. So I'm going to be doing that now. I'm going to be giving it a notch off for the both armhole and for the full length line as well. I actually figured I didn't show you guys how to make the center front point, like mine just came out, okay. I'm just going to show you guys how to quickly do that, so you might want to watch this video from beginning to end before you go ahead drafting your pattern, okay. So I'm going to be needing to add an additional paper on the full length line there, okay, to assist with the curve there, okay, because you wouldn't want your dress to come out very short, and of course the side front has to align with the sides of the back, okay, with the side back as well, okay. So I'm just going to be adding like 2 of an inch inches long paper to the full length line there, and then I'm just going to curve a V curve there towards the side front side. You can actually curve this anyhow you want, but make sure that it's well incorporated to the side front, and then you want to blend that point out very well. I didn't blend it here, pardon me. So you want to blend everything very well so that you come out slick and smooth, and before you go ahead and separate your side front from your center front, so make sure you blend that part out very well, and you're done with that. So that is that, and I've gone ahead to give it a good press. I've ironed everything out, okay, so everything is well incorporated now. As you can see, I've also fixed my zipper, leaving about 3 inches downwards from the next side, okay. As you can see, my zipper is lying down very flat and very okay. So right now we are going to go about fixing the neck, okay. It's like a bishop collar, a band, a neck, okay. So you want to go ahead and measure your round, the circumference of your neck, round your neck. For an average size 8 or 10 lady, should be about 14 to 16 inches. For a very skinny person, 14 inches, but at least the medium size, 16 inches, okay. Round the circumference of your neckline. So I'm going to be cutting out. This is actually the remaining fabric that I use for my interfacing, okay. Remember, I'm sewing with the lace, so I would be using that for my neck band, okay. So I'm going to be folding this fabric in the bias form. Please do not cut out your neckband on the straight form. You want to cut it out on the bias form, okay? 16 inches, and I added extra, making it 18 inches for seam allowance. Okay, it's better for your neckband to be longer. You can always cut it than shorter. Okay, so I'm going to make sure that I mark out the center middle part of my front neckline as well as that of my um band as well. There's an easy way to fix this, which I'm just showing you now. Is just to go ahead and fix this, match it on top straight like that, and your at the end of the day your seam allowance is going to be showing outside, which will not really like give you a neat finish. You might try to like do something underneath there, maybe cover it with a bias or thereabouts, but it won't really give you a neat finishing. Okay, I'm just like showing you guys the easy way to fix this. Okay, I know that sometimes I can be very lazy when it comes to sewing my own dress. Okay, I may just want to use the short cut, the short way out. Okay, so by fixing it, the easy way is just to place it directly, good face facing good face and all that. You just like I'm doing in the video there, and then just fix it straight ahead. All right, but that is not the best way to go about it. As you can see here, at the end of the day, this is what it may be looking like. It may come out well on the outside when you're done, but on the inside it is going to be looking rough, and then you just have to fix your zip on it at the end of the day, and like that. And you can see when you put it on, nobody may know what is going on underneath, but you have your rough edges and seam all over showing, and we wouldn't want that. So guys, stick with me. I'm going to show you the proper way to fix your band, just like you would with your pencil skirt. If you are fixing a waistband to your pencil skirt or your trouser. All right, this is the sure way to go about it. So first things first, I'm going to iron your stay. Okay, like you're interfacing your stay on your band. Okay, that's my stay there. I'm going to take it, cut it out, and then iron it. As you can see, I've done that already. I've ironed it. It's well incorporated. You might want to iron about 2-3 layers to make it very strong, but I don't want mine to be that strong, and I'm just going to trim off all the excesses there that are not making it to look good. Okay, also at the edge too. Now for the edges of the band that is going to be on the zipper side, you might want to reduce that. If the band is 2 inches wide like I have here, you might want to make the edge 1 inch plus 3/4 of an inch, at the end of the day. Now this band, like I said earlier, is very high, and you may want to reduce your band to 1.5 inch. That would be making it on the flat 3 inches wide, but by the time you fold it into two, it will give you 1.5 inch. This my band is actually 4 inches wide on the flat, and by the time I folded it into two, gave me 2 inches. So fixing the band, you have to fix the middle part to the middle part of the center front. Okay, good side of the band facing the wrong side of your dress, of your fabric. Okay, the wrong side of your already sewn clothes. Okay, and then you're going to fix it all the way through for the front neck there. Okay, from edge to edge, starting from the center, you spread out on both left and right side like I'm doing there before you go to the back sides. Okay, now the back side is to having your left and your right back side. Now remember I gave 1 inch allowance on the front to drop the shoulder, to draw the armhole. I don't know if you remember, I dropped in 1.5 inch for both the front and the back piece on the neckline there to connect the armhole from the neckline. So I'm going to add that to the space there. That's the 2 inches gap there from the front side to the back side there. That space you see there that I marked with the pencil, that is that 2 inches. The front 1 inch, the back 1 inch, making 2 inches. As you can see that it meets very well at the zipper side at the end of the day, so you want to give it that space. There are some other halter necks that doesn't have that space. That is because you still have a little fabric there on the shoulder side, but this one is not. So I will give that 2 inches space in between the front side and the back side, okay, on the band there, so that it will meet well in place. All right, so then you continue pinning, after which you take to your sewing machine to sew it. Okay, so here it is. I'm done pinning. So you want to ensure that you sew it using 1/2 inch seam allowance like I'm marking out there, and then I'll take it to my sewing machine to sew it. All right, I'm done sewing that part, as you can see now. All right, so you might want to watch this part all over again so that you fully understand how to go about it. All right, so now carrying the other side, I'm going to bend it inwards using 1/2 inch seam allowance. Okay, from the middle part I'm going to spread out. Do not start from the edge to edge, always start from the middle part, and ensure that you don't drag it while you are pinning. You want to make it very relaxed, or else you have it squeezing and getting rumpled on the way. To not be well relaxed. Okay, especially if you did not put heavy padding or stay like I did mine. Okay, so you want to make sure that you take your time to fold it in using 1/2 inch seam allowance, and make sure that everything is well incorporated and it's looking sleek and neat. Okay, so you want to be careful while you're doing this so that your band will be well relaxed on your neck. Okay, so as you can see me doing, just quietly and neatly do this as we go. You don't want to rush about this, and don't worry if there's an excess there's no challenge. It's better you have excess than shortage. Okay, you can always deal with that later. You can always trim off the excess. So I'm done with this, with the right side, and now to the left side you do the same thing as well. Okay, make sure that everything is well. Okay, you can see how I'm doing it carefully. So you just follow suit and then take it over to your sewing machine, and then you stitch it. I'll also show you how to stitch it very neatly, okay, at the edge there. So guys, I'm done fixing the collar there. As you can see, it's well relaxed and good. As you can see, the other part, the back side there, is not showing any rough edges or seam allowance. So you just go ahead and then fix your zipper and then trim off the excess, the remaining part of your zipper. As you can see, I've done that already, and this is the final look of my halter neck blouse. As you can see, it's very sleek and unique, and I'm loving this so much. Thanks guys for watching. If you find this video useful, please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, comment, and share this video till I come your way next time. Bye for now.